Ah! Oh, that was a terrible dismount. Oh my god. Everything hurts. Oh, my legs. God, why do my shoulders hurt so much from that? Hi. Oh, Dave. Thank you. Yep. First aid. Why are you wearing that stupid looking collar? This collar makes me look dumb. Yeah, we don't need that crap. We wear grown dog collars. Oh. Oh my god. Okay, take my clothes off.
Darwin, Daddy's home.
Are you recording still?
Yes.
Ford. Oh my god.
Okay. All right.
Rain, sponsor us.
Rain.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor Rebecca because she's the only one who gets sponsored.
Rain, sponsor Tommy because he doesn't get enough sponsors.
Because yeah, my feelings are hurt.
Do you want to let him in? Are we ready?
Is he here?
Yeah.
How did you know about the link? You already said you do?
I invited everyone on a calendar invite.
Oh, and it had the date?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it had the date, the calendar had the
When
link
you
to this.
schedule a meeting, you
You
can
have
send
Zoom link?
calendar invites. Yeah.
Cool. Let's just keep talking about this instead of letting him in. let him in.
Well, I mean,
What
we
time
do
is it?
technically have 4 minutes.
Early. Dude, Andrew Hanus, most excited. I think he's the most excited strongman I've ever met.
Really?
For sure. Have you ever met him?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, dude.
So
Hold on, I gotta look up the questions because one of the questions was like, why is he genuinely the most
Is he going to
Like the
be like
nicest
the
guy
most energetic person we've ever had first
you've
get on the
ever
camera?
seen?
Okay.
Well, I've said that, but maybe you won't know. Super nice, super friendly, all smiles, just good times. How do I? Oh, it's an old one, so I'm gonna go to saved.
Archive.
Yeah, you're right.
Archive.
Showing my fucking age.
Did you
I'm
do
like an
one
old
from the
man.
lightweights too, or did you just do one on your page?
I think I did both. I did one on lightweights as well.
I'll check the lightweights.
You do that. So I gotta go back. Damn, I post a lot. What the fuck am I always talking about? Oh, see all. Okay, yeah. His wonderful assortment of headbands. I don't know anything about that. Well, I guess he's got one. Titan Games, The Rock, Secret Service shit. I don't know what Secret Service shit means. Why and how he is legitimately the nicest guy on the planet. Titan Games. You know he was on Titan Games?
I do know that. Well, I mean, I didn't know that because I actually didn't follow him, and then I followed him.
But now you know.
I know.
Yeah, you got one.
We just got one. Goals in strongman, goals in 80 kilo. How's the diet? How's the gym?
Boring ass questions. It's fucking. What are your goals in strongman? To fucking win, bitch.
What do you think about belt cleans? Should just ask every person. And deadlift suits.
No, fuck that. We
What do you think about
we,
fingertip deadlifts?
What? Yeah, that's what we've officially moved on from belt cleans, and now all we care about
Is
is
fingertip
if you
deadlifts.
fingertip your deadlift with figure 8 straps and your fingers look like this, and then your pinky slips off and you're only holding with 2 fingers. Maybe it's not a deadlift, but hey, we'll let the community decide.
This is going to be the freeze frame we use for the ad. Okay, let's let him in.
All right.
Let's fucking let him in.
Admin.
Let him in.
Close this.
Mm.
Wait, is this framed up well? I'm too high.
Or am I just too low?
You're definitely too low.
What's up?
All right, big step. Good set.
Oh, headband. We got headband.
Oh, let's go. And plate. This is the best intro we've ever had.
Good work set, guys.
Fucking sick.
Delicious.
Get my protein. Oh, what the fuck's going on?
What's
What is
up?
up?
Is the volume all the way up?
On ours?
What's up?
It is
I'm in my garage, but my neighbor is mowing his lawn for the 6th time this week. So if it's too loud, just let me know and I'm gonna move.
No, we can't. I can't hear the lawn mowing at all, so I think you're good.
No, we're
Okay, good.
Your video's a little choppy, but it's actually
Is
fine.
it?
Well, it's fine now. It like kind of cuts in and out, but it's not a big deal.
All right, keep.
Well, yeah. And now you froze. So.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, heard that.
Am I still frozen? What about now?
I mean, it seems better now.
Yeah. I mean, it was
What about
fine
now?
before, except for
It's
when
getting
it froze.
better. It's getting better.
It's better?
Yeah.
I'm standing right next to the Wi-Fi router.
Oh, awesome.
It's very clear now.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, is it? All right, cool.
You have a beautiful home.
Well, thank you. Welcome to my abode.
So where do you live? You live in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, now I'm in, last 2 years I've been in Philadelphia. Well,
Okay.
not in Philadelphia, but outside Philadelphia. So, using my checkers board. So, yeah, this has been the home for the last couple of years, and not too bad. It's kind of nice out here. It's a little cold for me, a little too cold for too long. Whereas from living in Atlanta for the past 3 years, that was much different kind of weather experience. But I've been everywhere. So it doesn't really matter. It's all good experience one way or the other.
We got a bunch of stuff, or I got a bunch of stuff I want to talk to you about. Well, I just want to hang out because we know each other. So
Yeah, I know. I miss you, man. I miss you.
Let's do a typical fucking, go for it. Who are you? What have you done? Why'd you get into it? What are your plans and goals? Whatever you want to say.
Give us your strongman elevator pitch.
Yeah.
My strongman elevator pitch.
No.
God, I feel like that is the typical, like, if it's an elevator pitch and it's a stranger and I say, hey, I do strongman, I get that like weird, like body scan, like what? No, you don't, because they're just like, you're not 400 pounds and 6'5", it doesn't make sense. So It's always fun. But yeah, I think in general, I've been doing strongman since 2012 was my very first contest. And it all started when I was in the military. Actually, I was stationed in North Carolina, going to Gold's Gym at the time and just hitting sets. And there was a couple of older guys in there and they would do some weird things. They had this Gold's Gym, it was actually a pretty cool spot. They actually had circus dumbbell in there and they had logs and things like that. I don't think Gold's Gyms are like that very much anymore, but anyways, so some of the guys, they were like, if you want, you'd probably be pretty good at doing, some of the strongman stuff. I'm like, I have no idea what the hell strongman is. So they took me under their wing for maybe all of 3 months before I left. I'm sorry, my dog is like hacking a lung right now, bro. You good? You good? All right. And so that was my first exposure. It was in North Carolina. I did a contest and that was kind of like my intro to it. And I was like, all right, that was cool. That was fun. Problem is being in the military and getting PCS'd all over the place. I was always traveling. And so from there, I actually did a bodybuilding contest because I transitioned to Texas for a few months, didn't have access to any of that stuff. And really it was just kind of like a one and done thing for me. So I did some bodybuilding. Then I moved to California, got back into strongman actually because a CrossFit gym I was attending out there had everything you could want for a strongman. All the Atlas stones, all the logs, and the guy who owned it he was not hesitant to buy whatever you needed. So that was kind of nice. So I did some strongman out there, got out of the military, started going to school. So backed off. I mean, I did a bunch of powerlifting in between too, like just jumping in random meets and whatnot. I love
that like even bodybuilding is part of the story, but powerlifting is like, I threw out some powerlifting, but whatever.
Yeah.
Andrew Hanus with 518.
Well, I did it for fun too. So like in the military, whenever you go anywhere, like there's always one constant at the gyms, and that's a barbell and dumbbells, right? Like and maybe some machines of some sort. So it's way easier to train for those types of events than it ever was for strongman. Nowadays,
as I've continued to learn now, I've been gone out of the military. A lot of my friends are, they're sending pics and videos of all of these really nice complex setups with all these machines and rigs and all those things. So it's like the military is heavily invested in a CrossFit now to have those those setups on base. And so, I mean, that's kind of nice, but that wasn't around way back when I was in. And we had to beg for money to do that. We would basically ask for donations from Rogue. I remember reaching out to all kinds of companies like, can you donate wall balls to us? Can you do this? Can you do that? While we were deployed even. And we used to have when I was deployed once, we had a small Connex, and inside the Connex was all CrossFit stuff. And we basically, it's 120 degrees outside, and we were doing CrossFit shit outside. So it was terrible, but awesome, because it kind of doing, I think, training in those environments kind of builds a different mindset, especially when you know that you're not training for a contest, you're training for combat. So it's like very, very different type of mindset to train in. So we go into this air conditioned shit. I'm like, this is easy, yo.
That's really funny hearing you say actually training for combat, because I think there's like some dudes that like act like competition is combat. Like, we're going to war.
Oh my God. It's like, bro, no, you're not. Not even close to it. And if you're going to war with this mentality, I don't want to be on your side. Bro, this is my orange.
So you did some CrossFit for a while, right? Like I feel like my first thought of you, that's a weird way to say this, but like I remember thinking like, oh, you came from CrossFit. And I remember there were a few guys that I thought came from CrossFit, and I started thinking, I think CrossFit's like a really good base for a strong man. Like some of the dudes, like especially last year or a couple of years ago, Narumu, that dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
I mean, he's just freakishly strong anyway, but like
monster.
Yeah, like
I aspire to be like him.
Crazy, yeah.
I think like while I was in the military, my foremost goal was to always be combat ready. So it didn't matter if I was training for a powerlifting meet, as long as I was meeting the minimum standards, right? Like, Benny, come here. So I don't know if you've met my dog. This is Benny. Benny was my service dog, so he's gonna eat my orange. But he was and still is considered, he's a patrol explosive detection dog. So Benny and we would pair up and we'd go look for bombs. And so that's what I did in the military. And Benny just turned 10 this year, and he got to come home, and now he gets to live his retired life, his best life. I know. Yeah,
I remember something about that on Instagram. You posted some things about him, or I didn't know if it was another dog or not, but that's so fucking cool.
Yeah, this is him. So and he eats oranges. Like, what the fuck? What is that?
I'm also.
So he's been eating everything.
That you have a dog, because usually we have a dog in the video.
Yeah.
And we're at the gym.
Oh, really?
So yeah. I'm glad there's still a dog. That's actually great.
Yeah, so I've seen the pity, and dude, I don't know what kind of dog you have, Tommy, but Shaggy.
He doesn't know.
No one knows. She's
a pretty dog.
She's like an emotional fucking basket case. She's crazy.
Yeah, neither of our dogs will be great having bombs. I can say that. they're both emotional anxiety messes.
Yep. So yeah, I guess to kind of shorten up and dovetail this off, that's why I trained. And then when I got out of the military, started going to school, I got a lot more time to train, had a lot more access to equipment, started to get back into strongman competitively. And that started probably around 2016, 17. And then from there, it was just kind of like, all right, let's get back to it. And that, I've been highly competitive since about that time. And that brings us to here, really.
Yeah, I met you 2017 OSG.
Yeah, it was a while ago. 2018. Yep, 2018. I wasn't at 17.
I remember seeing you and being scared as shit. I was like, dude, look at him. He's fucking jacked. You're fucking.
I just got fat legs, man.
Fat legs. What? We were texting the other day. You said you're like up to like. You said 205 now?
I'm 203. This morning I was 203. I'm like, what in the world?
Jealous. I'm jealous.
Dude, I feel like I got sick with COVID back in December. And from there, it has just been all downhill with my diet. Like I just continuously put on weight. I mean, I used to walk around like 187 and 190, and now it's just like I can't even stay in the 190s, and it's driving me nuts. So now I'm definitely getting a hold of this diet because I need to do something. Also, I think working from home for the last year and a half too has not really been kind of compliant with my diet too, because the activity level has reduced significantly. So I think that that's kind of harmful as well. But I mean, I have a garage gym. My wife just ordered this Peloton bike thing. I'm like, cool. So like I have no excuse. I can sit on a bike and just pedal and do nothing, but then your ass gets sore, and I don't know. It's not the same. So
what do you do for diet? Like for me, my diet, I don't track, I don't watch anything, I just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
It's not like a brag or a diss on myself. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
I know a lot of people think about diet and do diet, and since I never think about it, I never talk about it. So I'm sure somebody would want to know, like, you're 203, you're going to compete this year at OSG, right?
Yep.
So that's 80 kilograms. That's
80 kilo.
So that's 176. So that's 27 fucking pounds.
What's
that's over 10%. So where do you what do you try to do for your diet to sort of get down to a place that you can do a water cut from? And where do you like to water cut from?
I'm gonna say that right now it's gonna be unusual because being over 200 is like an accomplishment. Like that's a milestone. You never could hit 200. It's just like now that I'm here, I'm like, fudge, man. Like now I got to get down. So I think this approach will be a little bit different. I am right now I just started using the RP Diet app and trying to test that out. So I'm going on week 3, and it's kind of a dick. It's got me on insanely high carbs, high protein, which is cool. I like high protein, and like moderate fats, but the carbs are insane. And so I think that's one thing I'm trying to get used to is what I can eat to fulfill it. But then the very next day, it's like, oh, sorry, you get literally 25 carbs all day. So I'm like, what the? I don't get it. So I'm sticking with that for a minute. But I think basically all I do is I just cut out all the junk, right? Like to begin with, I don't drink sodas or like any of those kind of things. I don't eat on candies unless it's Sour Patch at a contest or something like that, right? Like I really don't eat any kind of junk food. And my wife jokes all the time. She's just like, what you consider junk food is actually health food to some other people.
Totally. Yeah. Let me tell a little story about so shit. It was USS Nationals 2019. And Andrew's just like, I mean, if you ever see Andrew at a contest, he's just the best dude. He's running around, he's smiling, he's making sure everybody's in a good mood. He's, like he's in a good mood. And then I was saying something about pre-workout or something about caffeine. He's like, oh, I don't use caffeine. And I was like, what? He's like, oh no, never touch this stuff. So I see him later on, and he was like, didn't somebody give you a chocolate covered coffee beans or just coffee beans? And he was like chewing on them. He's like, woo!
Dude, I was feeling it. Okay. I drink coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. So like,
okay, I thought you said
pre-workouts.
Okay, no pre-workout.
Yeah, pre-workouts I don't do unless it's like a contest day or something like that. But yeah, I generally, especially after a weight cut, man, I haven't had a pre-workout in a few weeks, and then I dump it in. I feel like that. I don't know, the way my body reacts. It's like it's weird. So yeah, I try to just be careful what I put in, especially on contest day.
Let me ask you a question, because I don't know if you know this, Rebecca's a nutritionist?
I'm a nutrition coach.
A nutrition coach.
Counselor.
Where you been for what?
Yeah.
So after a weight cut, like, maybe I haven't eaten in a day, I took citrulline malate or magnesium citrate. Which one makes you poop?
Mag citrate, yeah.
Magnesium citrate, poo all the food out.
Yeah.
I'm dehydrated. I weigh in, I start rehydrating. Is it good to take caffeine? Because is there like fast food nutrient partitioning? Is that a word?
No.
I heard like the caffeine.
Like the uptake.
No, if anything, the caffeine is probably more likely to make you sick. Your uptake when you're fasted like that and basically starved, your uptake is so high already.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like the second you start eating, your body's gonna absorb.
Yeah, your body knows
really
it, yeah,
fast.
okay.
Like you're
Yeah.
basically super depleted. It's kind of like, even if you look at like bodybuilders, they deplete, and the way that they're able to fill up so easily is because by the time they're so depleted and they start taking in carbs, their intramuscular absorption rates are through the roof.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
So all of those carbs like get absorbed super fast. Assuming they can, at that point you're just fighting like your rate of digestion.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah, I try to stay key on that. But like to that point, like when I said, and this is fun, like Tommy, we've been there together. You know, my water cut weight, I like to, it's comfortably when I cut a water cut, or when I do a water cut, I like to start at like 187-ish, because to get to 186, like 10 pounds, like that's beautiful. If I can do 10-pound water cut, I'm happy. But the best part is when everybody does those water cuts, I'm like crossing my fingers, because I'm like, I'm hoping that they do exactly this, is the first thing that they eat is total trash. I'm just like, dude, go get a hamburger, go eat pizza. Like, I'm praying for that athlete to do that, because I know that you're going to feel like crap the next day and you're going to be bloated and all of that. So I'm like banking on, you know, their poor decision making.
Dude, I eat nothing but garbage all day, but I eat it very slowly.
Well, you also
I
see
did
the
very
people
slowly.
that like show up at weigh-ins with like a box of donuts. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yes.
that is not it.
That's what I do. I mean, I won't eat all the donuts, but I'll definitely, like, the first thing I'll eat is a pastry, like some sugar and carbs. And for me, and you,
Yeah.
I hate to fucking eat, so I need like hyper palatable food.
Yeah.
So I'll eat like a cheeseburger, and then I'll have a box of cookies around, just so that every half hour so I can go eat a cookie or something, just because like
Your blood glucose is so low.
Yeah, and I won't like eat all trash, but if I try to eat things that aren't trashy enough, I'll just get sick of eating.
Well, that's for you. I think the big difference is also that when you look at how depleted people are, or how sensitive someone's digestive system might be, like, so someone like me, and probably even Andrew this year, is going to have to diet decently hard to be down there.
Yeah.
Like, if I haven't had a donut in 3 months, and now I'm
shit.
depleted and starved, and I stick a bunch of
Right.
sugar and fat in my stomach,
Oh.
it's likely to make my stomach incredibly happy.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where someone like you, who, like, for the most
I'm
part,
gonna eat that until I start my water cut.
yeah, like, you're gonna eat the same shit that you always eat until
Yeah.
you water cut. So for you, it's not like putting like a super foreign object in your stomach that you're not
Yeah.
used to digesting.
Right.
So that makes a big difference too.
Yeah.
I would say that the only thing you could probably do better is just choose slightly lower fat foods.
Oh, I try to I try to stay sugary, salty, carby,
Yeah,
not necessarily fat.
right. So that's like
But I
the thing.
want to kick it out of bed.
So that's the thing. Like,
Cool. Enough about me.
Yeah. It just reminded me too. We were 2019 OSG.
Yeah.
Me and you and Devin.
Yeah.
We were all walking outside. Dude, we were all walking outside, sucking on we're sucking on sugar,
That's
but we're
right.
sucking on warheads.
Yeah, that's
So we
right.
could like salivate and spit, just because we were all like half a pound or a pound off. And that was the worst
We
thing.
all went in and missed it by like a half pound or something.
Yeah.
That's when we tested the scale, and then we were like, whoops.
And that was so bad though, because it was all that sugar gave me a headache.
yeah.
Oh,
And it also like singed all of our like taste buds.
that
was the worst part.
That wasn't fun. Yeah, like it burned our tongues.
Oh yeah, that was the worst part. But that sugar just like,
What time did you guys have weigh-ins in the morning last
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
The only thing that kind of sucks this year is weigh-ins are at 1 p.m.
I hate that.
which is really frustrating because it means everyone's gonna have to do their sweating in the morning. Like,
yup.
in the late morning, like anybody who sweats the night before is gonna be fucked. You're just gonna spend so much time dehydrated.
Well, I'm not. So
I'm just kidding. Wait, we're
That's
putting everyone sweat the night before.
Yeah. Well, we know of a 24-hour fitness or something that's nearby that we used last time.
Oh, it was LA.
LA, yeah, it's 24 hours, I think, right?
I'm a
Is
hot
it? Oh.
I thought so.
But yeah, they had a good sauna. As long as that sauna is open.
Yeah, as long as the sun is
with
open.
COVID.
Bathtub.
How
That's what
bad?
I do, yeah. I don't do saunas.
Yeah.
That fucking hurts.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the saunas are still closed because of
That-
COVID. So
You might need a hot bath too.
we might need to figure that out.
Oh shit.
Nah, but
Yep.
it's in Florida
Oh,
and
it's-
like
yeah.
everything's open again. I think it'll be fine.
That's true. That is also true. Yeah.
I'm gonna be in the bathtub regardless because that's what I always do.
I wish I could do that. We got a couple questions. It's pretty much all the same questions. It's like, why are you such a nice guy? Talk about your headbands. But
Talk about my headbands.
yeah, like something about your headband.
Oh my gosh.
But most people ask about the Titan games.
So, of course. Let's leave that for last because the
Are
Titan
you
games.
tired of talking about the Titan games?
So let's talk about headbands. So my headband. If you could kindly zoom in on this man bun,
Yeah, you're
which
growing
my wife so kindly did for me this morning. This is the first successful man bun that I've gotten out of this hair. I'm pretty excited about it. Pretty excited. I started growing my hair long when COVID started. Because we just stopped going to, like barbers and all that. They all closed, right? So I was like, just let it keep going. And then eventually I was like, let's just see how far I can take this. So as my hair grew longer and longer, my headband collection just continued to grow too. But I mean, I've been wearing headbands forever. I just feel like I don't like sweat getting in my eyes. And so, yeah, I have a lot of junk headbands.
Yeah,
The brand junk.
I had a little bit longer hair for a while, but for me, training with longer hair, I feel stupid. Like the hair gets on my face and I feel like an ass. Like it makes me feel like So
It is annoying.
the headband makes total sense.
Yeah, I don't know how girls do it. Like you guys, I have so much more respect now having long hair and understanding what you go through. I'm like, this is dumb, but I refuse to cut it off.
I mean, it's partly what I go through because I've never had long hair. This is like the longest my hair gets, but
Oh, really?
yeah. But it is annoying for sure. And what's funny though is I feel like COVID, like women everywhere shaved their heads, dudes everywhere grew their hair out.
Interesting.
Because women were like, I can't go to I can't get a nice haircut anymore, so I'm just gonna shave it off because I can go home. And guys were like,
Tommy's sitting right next to you.
Yeah,
Get your clippers.
Yeah,
Get those clippers out.
I give her a haircut.
Yeah, he gave me a haircut.
Did you?
We put it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Nice.
What was the other
What's
thing?
it?
What about you talked about your kind of whole strongman history. What are your goals in strongman now? Like where do you want to go?
Oh man.
Yeah, you've already hit a 500-pound front squat. That thing was
That was
bonkers.
crazy.
Yeah, that was fun.
Let's go!
I've been chasing that for a better part of a year. That actually, is just something. I mean, I've been right there on the brink. Failed it several times, and I started, just kind of honing in and saying, I changed up my overall kind of programming. So instead of just doing like a lot of compound movements and accessory movements, I actually, to help build some of the strength I think I needed to get that, I started bringing back in some bodybuilding. So a lot of isolated movements, so like machine movements and things like that. And I feel like that has helped push my strength up a little bit, and that pushed me over the edge for that too. So that was kind of nice. I'm not going to lie, but it's been a nice reminder of how bodybuilding is just like can be very painful if done right. Like 15-pound dumbbells can be evil if used right.
Yeah.
But I think right now, like COVID's put a wrench in all of our plans, I think in general. So my plan for a while has been a podium at OSG and a podium at the Arnold, both of which keep just slipping through my hand. So I can't get to. I've been trying for the past 3 years to get to Arnold, and finally this past year we qualified. And year before that, I broke my foot. I still competed at OSG on a broken foot.
You did really well.
I don't know how.
Wait, you got sixth or fourth?
Fourth that year.
Crazy.
You know what? I think that was kind of also because a lot of other people were slipping up on things, and so it just kind of gave me an edge. but man, I remember I cried that I ran that yoke and I cried. It was so bad. So I think those are my two big ones as a lightweight. That's what I want, an Arnold and an OSG podium. And I feel like if I got those, I would be satisfied enough to move up to middleweight.
Yeah.
And just continue pissing off middleweights, because I'll do local contests as a middleweight. I'm not going to cut weight for. Also, one, it's like it's not fair to do a local contest as a lightweight unless I'm trying to qualify for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But two, like when you look at a lot of the local contests, the weights in those events are what the lightweights will have at like a national level event. So it's like it's good to kind of train at that tempo or at that pace, or at least compete at that pace, and piss off middleweights on the way.
I feel like what a great hot take though, because whenever I see elite athletes competing in their own weight class at local shows,
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just look like a douche. Like you just look like
Like you know better. Like what are you doing? Come on.
Yeah, I like when I'll tell like someone who doesn't do strongman and about how like I can't compete at a local show because it's just not fair. Like they think I'm doing like some big brag, and I'm like, no, it's just. I mean, I am bragging a little bit, I guess, but
Yeah, but I mean, it's
I'm
really,
like, yeah, it wouldn't be fun for anyone.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm actually not allowed to. So.
Oh yeah, you got a pro card now. So Andrew, you
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed. You have to be invited.
I'm not allowed to compete as a lightweight at anything that's not a pro show, but also like I walk around 25 pounds over, so like I'm
You would do
never
it anyway,
gonna
yeah.
cut weight against like people at a show where the overhead is 115. Like I'm just not gonna do that.
That's crazy.
No doubt.
Andrew, you do your own programming then?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's been like that on and off for a few years. I've had several coaches along the way. Some who've been friends, some who've been like, workout partners, some who have been just purely remote. Like I've been all over the place. And not to say like they've all been great in their own way. Everybody's a little bit different, but I think it's also trying to find the right flavor of coach for me. So somebody who is going to let me get away with doing the things that I want to do, but also making sure that I adhere to something that's going to have positive results. So I've had like both ends. So I've had the coach who's like, you're doing good. You need to be a little bit more adherent. And I can't help you if you just keep going off this way, or vice versa, right? Like, oh yeah, do whatever you want. And then the program's kind of like this.
That's kind of what's the point, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of easier for me to just, I'll take even what some of my old coaches have done, and I'll regurgitate it into another type of program, and then I'll run it myself. But I'll cherry pick what I don't want in there, and then I'll add other stuff in there, because I like to do a lot more like high intensity stuff. So like short sprints, or like a lot of EMOM work. It's what some people will just look at and they're like, you're doing that for 10 minutes. That's CrossFit. Like, yeah, but I like to have my heart rate elevated for that amount of time. And
yeah, it's important.
Yeah. And I think also the other problem is there are a lot of coaches that are all heavyweight coaches, and heavyweights don't live in a lightweight world. And so I think the transference, the ideology, across the sport is the same, but the training modalities are very different. Like there's a different curve that they can't relate to, as I can't relate to them being heavier weights, right? So I think it's just easier. I just do my own programming now, and I've been pretty successful, I think. I don't know. I've got, I regurgitate things from, like, when I was in California and I did powerlifting out there, like I was training at Super Training with Mark Bell. And so I have powerlifting templates that I'll run under my strongman programming. Okay. And so it's kind of like, all right, I'm getting a little bit of both worlds, but I'm not too intense on the strongman, or too intense on, say, the powerlifting side of things. I'm never taking a 3-4 minute break. Like, that's just not me. But also, like,
that's really nice that you, I have a hard, I'll take huge breaks just because I hate training, but
yeah,
but that's really smart to take such, well, I mean, I guess it's depending on what you're trying to accomplish with your training, but getting used to that sort of like rhythm is great for competition.
I think so. And that's one of the reasons. And I think there's a benefit to the long rest periods, right? Because you're working for certain numbers or certain strength gains.
Yeah.
But I also think like, what am I looking at? Not time under tension, but like time, like in a max effort state. So a 60-second log press, right? I need to know what that feels at max effort. And if I can do that 3 times in a row in one day, I know that I can give a little bit more on game day for just one 60-second block, right? Sprint. So I think there's times that you use it and times that you don't use it. Because yeah, there's totally like some days. The other day, I think I took like 45 minutes maybe to deadlift like 4 or 5 sets. I'm just like, whatever. I sit in my garage. I get so bored by myself in there. Like, so
yeah, I think as long as you can be objective with the data you're seeing and your own progress and your own, like, maybe not emotional involvement in your training, but I've never programmed for myself. Well, I programmed for myself once for like 2 weeks and it was a disaster. So if I have a coach, I know I can off-put all of sort of the expectations onto them. Not that they're the ones that are making me stronger, but I show up and I see what I'm supposed to do and I don't have to think about it. Whereas if I program for myself, I trick myself into maybe I don't know what I'm doing or whatever. So as long as I think if you can be honest with, okay, I'm doing this and I felt this way, this is my recovery and these are the numbers I'm seeing and I'm seeing progress.
Yeah.
Then,
and that's definitely, I'll look at the periods of my life where, at least the last decade, where I've had the most success and what I was doing at those periods in time. And I'll try to replicate. And sometimes it'll change depending on what the contest is. But then there's just that awesome idea of just, hey, here's some cash. Like, don't let me, I don't want to think, like, just build it for me.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Are you going to train sandbags at all?
I don't probably need to.
Go! Come on!
Let's go!
But I want to embarrass people, so I definitely I like keeping people on edge, and nice to see that over the past few years. I mean, we've seen sandbags in so many contests, so people are training them more and more. But it's nice to see that there has been actually a gradual kind of increase in everybody's throwing ability just across the board. So I think it needs to be trained. If you're not training it, then if you're not throwing like once a month, you're probably going to fall behind the curve, because there are guys out there who are throwing too much, but they're going to be ready game day. Maybe, I don't know. We only have to what's our board, like 15 feet? I don't know. Maybe we're going to get into that, but
it's 15 feet, 6 bags.
Yeah.
It starts stupid like, yeah. What do you think about the weights? Do you know what they are?
It starts at 25, right?
25, 30, 35, 40.
Yeah, by 5.
I've never ended at 50. I started at 20.
Oh, yeah.
20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So
Oh,
that's
that's close.
20 pounds, dude. I want to know if I can throw the 20 in.
Dude, I'm going to single hand. Oh, yeah.
Like 2 at once.
The women's
let's not, don't ask that during the questions.
Yeah.
Like during the rules meeting, just.
Lynn's watching like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's it.
The women's flyweight starts at 10 pounds.
10 pounds.
No, it does not.
That's stupid, yeah.
What
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
do you think it should be, Andrew? Like what kind of, do you have any thoughts?
Honestly, I think the problem with this is it's all dependent on what the promoter wants, because they want to be able to like shuffle people through. So
see, fuck them though. We're the athletes. What do you think?
But yeah. So I think at the end of the day, honestly, it should be either a single height or max weight, or an increasing height with a single weight.
Yeah.
One of those, right? I think that's what it's.
Yeah.
That's how it is in the Highland Games. It's a single height for weight over bar. So it's, I think it's 46 pounds for the lightweight male, 46 pounds single hand throw over bar, and the bar increasingly or goes up in height.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And so that's one of the reasons Len took away the third implement from the medley, was because if more people finish it, it makes it easier to reset, because all he has to do is pull an empty sled back.
Yep.
Which we both think is.
Last year, a lot of people weren't even getting it off the freaking
No,
block.
but he did say he might add another implement over at Clash.
Oh yeah, Rebecca
Yeah,
and I had his ear for a whole weekend, and we really tried talking him into adding a duck walk in the beginning.
Ooh, so you have the duck walk to your implements and then carry your implements back.
Pretty open to.
He did seem open to it, yeah.
We'll see what happens.
That'd be cool.
I love a duck walk. They're so
that would be
stupid and
cool.
hard, and I just like them a lot.
So you said the Highland Games. I want to ask two things about that. You did the Highland Games.
Oh yeah.
But also we're in a group chat, and we were talking, I forget who brought it up, but everyone was talking about engagement on social media, specifically Instagram, and you seem to have a pretty good grasp on that. You were talking about it's not necessarily the likes, comments, it's the reach, I think.
Yep.
If you look at your statistics, like, what was the reach? Like, how many,
yeah,
did you reach? I mean, and your post from the Highland Games, like, had some
through the roof,
stupid number, like huge.
It's through the roof.
Here we go.
And I feel like let's see, all time. So I think, why is it not telling me all time? Yeah, all right, it's not going to tell me. But anyways, I think there's a couple things. One, from what I've learned, and I have a friend who works at Facebook, and she's like gave me a little tidbit here and there, but Facebook, not Instagram, but still the same ownership. And basically, like, a lot of things play into it. One is like the time of day that you make your post, on what specific day that you make your post. The hashtags matter. So hashtags matter. There's one challenge to that, though, is that if you are repetitive with your hashtags, Instagram will stop actually subscribing your profile to those hashtags. So if you use
a shadow
strongman,
right?
What's that?
That's called a shadow ban, I think.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. So if you use strongman in every single post for the last 40 posts, Instagram's going to cut you off. So it's smart to change your hashtag game up a lot. Another thing that they pay attention to is, so are you tagging people? So engagement, so tagging people in your posts, commenting back to people who commented on your post, things like that. And I think if there's another thing too, where if you are like, if you're tagging like new hashtags, the likelihood of your hash or your post being higher on the review or on like the scroll throughs increases as well. And so there's a lot of different like components that all play into each other, into an algorithm that, I mean, I don't really understand, but I mean, yeah, it'll tell you, like, I mean, if you go back through there, it'll say like, number of audience reach, and you can even see, I think somewhere in there, I don't freaking know, I don't even remember how I got to that, man. You can see in there like the difference between people who are your followers who it reached, and the people who are not your followers and it reached. Yeah. It's just like a whole nother game. People get paid to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, the Highland, I don't know why the Highland one, I have a couple Highland ones that took off, like just wearing a kilt for whatever reason.
So second attempt for Vega. It's like a 70. 70.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I think that's what it was, like just men in kilt or something, hashtag like that. And some are videos, some are pictures, and I don't know why those ones do better than like, oh, here's a 300-pound Atlas stone, but they're like 5 likes. Like, what the hell?
Well, I think like the thing
I wonder what it is.
when you look at like people who aren't competitive athletes, like a 300-pound stone to someone who doesn't lift weights, like doesn't really mean anything. They're like, that's heavy. Yeah. But like a guy in a kilt has like an entertainment factor.
Yeah.
It's so
Right?
true.
So, like, I think there is definitely an entertainment factor to things that have big reaches.
I gotta say, I think when we get our photos back from OSG this year, carrying that car, that's gonna do well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
yeah.
I have to say that's pretty smart on Lynn's part, because it's also about the spectators, right? So it's putting on a show for them, whether they're in person or not.
We really think the car should be in day 3, but he said he put it in in the semifinals so that everyone could get a picture with it.
That's kind of smart. That's kind of nice.
Because I think the finals should get pictures.
I agree. Yeah, then we have
So what I feel like I'm kind of bummed that it's not, because if it was in day 3, that means sandbags would be in day 1 or 2. And that would just give me an edge. Now I got to fight to get to the sandbags.
No, but don't you want it in day 3? I mean, don't you want it on the final so that you can get 10 points out?
I got to make sure I get to day 3. I got to make sure I qualify.
What? How are you not gonna? Are you not already qualified?
I'm not.
You didn't do it.
I was 14th in 2019.
Oh.
Yeah, because of a sneaky Viper press or Viking press, the sneaky Viking press.
I meant, did you not?
0.
Oh, yeah, dude, a lot of people 0. No, I meant in 2020, did you not do the online qualifier?
No, I never submitted.
Oh, okay.
I think I sent Lynn a thing for like being late, and he was just like, "Don't worry about it. We're doing it next year," or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah,
but
they just opened up, right? There's like
They're opening up, I think, in June or July. But I think a lot of people
July 1st.
I think a lot of people didn't didn't submit last year because they knew they weren't going to go last year because of the the world situation.
Sure.
But
Right.
the problem with that is now so many people put it off, and now there's only 10 spots up for grabs
Really?
in each class.
I
Yeah.
thought there was like 20 or something.
There's not
15?
there's not 20 spots per class. There's only 10 spots
Oh,
per class
shit.
for grabs now. So now people are gonna have a hard time qualifying this
Wow.
year to get in. The people who were like, I'm not gonna go and put it off.
Yeah.
Did you look at what the events are? We were talking about
Oh yeah, the qualifier is
what's the sandbag thing?
so it's a sandbag between like 60 to 265 pounds. And what I think it's a 25-foot course. And what they want is for 90 seconds, you have the camera on your lane, and you have to pick the bag and run it the length of whatever, 25 or 30 feet. You have to drop that bag, repick it, and you have to continue that process for 90 seconds.
90 seconds.
And you get to pick your weight.
You pick the weight. So I'm going to pick 265 pounds and run it.
But so is it like a Trump situation where like if you do the 265, you beat anybody who did anything lighter?
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. What if you did 245 and you did it 30 times, and there's a guy who's 65 that only did it 3 times?
Yep.
How does that work?
It's a valid point.
Then I would say that the 240 person should win.
Obvious.
Oh, yeah.
It also
Well,
has
let's
so
say
much-
it's
But you know what? Maybe you just multiply number of times weight, and that's
Yeah, that's true. Like feet times weight.
yeah.
The other thing is like, I think it's so dependent on what, like maybe the only bag at your gym is 240. You don't have a 265. So you just use the 240 because that's all you have. Then someone who happens to have a 265 shouldn't.
You better put a pound weight in that thing.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Cerberus bags go from like 220 to 265 anyways.
Yeah, 1 to 120. 100
Yeah.
kilograms to 120. So 260 to
220 to 264.
220.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a
No,
300-pound bag. I'm just going to be an asshole and pick up a 300. Do that. I don't care. I'm going to be like, Lynn, hashtag Lynn, check this out.
Well, I mean, I think that someone who's like a heavyweight man should be able to do more than 265, right?
Yeah, without question.
Like if I
Oh,
could
yeah.
have like an over 200 pound heavyweight man should.
But then you're asking them to run for 90 seconds. And I mean, heavyweights running for 90 seconds.
Just the drop and the pick, and you're like, oh,
Yo.
like 30, 90 seconds is going to feel like a fucking eternity.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'll probably record my videos in June, submit them day 1, get them up there just to kind of like, have it up there.
What are
know.
the, also a speed deadlift, 5 RM speed
Why does it say
Five rep
speed? Why does it say
No, it's the most
touch
we
and go?
do for 5 reps under 30 seconds.
under 30
speed? Okay, that makes
seconds.
sense.
Oh, okay.
Which is, but I have to say, really annoying because let's say like you're working up and you're filming your sets, you get to your max weight and it's 31 seconds. That means you can't submit that video, you have to do it again.
No, that means
Right.
you go into fucking Adobe Premiere and you speed up just a little.
Well, no, because in the same video you have to weigh your stuff too.
Oh, we slow it back up.
But the other thing is you can use a suit in the video.
Oh, really?
Well, you can use
Yep.
a suit for the show, so I mean.
So yeah. So there are gonna be some guys who are just kind of tink.
Oh, yeah. If it's,
Well, I don't think you can-
They're not even like,
Can you touch it now? You might not be able to.
I don't know.
if it's touch and go, you can go pretty fucking fast.
Especially.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do my true 5 rep max and it wouldn't take me 30 seconds.
It should.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think it
I don't think
should.
my real 5 rep max would take me
Oh, yeah.
more than 30 seconds. If I can't do it in 30 seconds, I can't live times.
Dude, straight up, yeah.
I think. Yeah. I think
Well,
for
I
that,
guess
I'll
it's
probably.
from like doing 3, resting 15 seconds and doing 2 more.
That's probably, yeah, that's
Dude.
probably a good point.
Everybody's deadlift game has gone up significantly too. So I'm curious to see what pops.
Yeah.
I think like the stuff happening in the lightweight community among men and women lately is you have
getting
like
big.
so many lightweight women like pulling or very close to pulling 500 pounds now. And it's like,
It's insane.
Wild.
what? I remember when I first started powerlifting, if you were any size girl and you could pull 3 plates, that was like,
Big deal.
what the fuck? Now, like, that's like the barrier. Like,
Like,
Yeah.
a lot of plates, yeah, fuck.
it's crazy.
It's awesome.
I'm sure the same thing. I mean, like lightweight men now, like there's so many that are like
Dude, yeah,
in the 700 area.
almost 800 already.
Yeah.
Like there are a few guys almost going to 800.
Crazy. It's insane.
There's like
Who's
someone,
pulling
like,
800?
well, those
I mean,
twins.
Ross. Oh, those guys.
Well, yeah, the
Pinky guys.
pinky
What are their
guys.
names?
The thing you
I
guys.
don't. Tim and Paul or Joe. I think Joe and
Dude, like, what hole in the ground did they come out of? Like, where are they? Where?
I think
where
it's the same
come
person.
from?
I think it's the same person.
Do you?
No.
Where'd
But
they even come
pulled, I think they pulled 776. One of them. I say they. I don't. It's one of them. One of them.
Yeah, one of them did.
Yeah, I don't. And you got like fucking dude. Josh's deadlift has gone up a ton.
Yeah.
For like 2018 or something, his deadlift wasn't that great, and then 2019, all of a sudden, like he's one of only 4 or 5 guys who finished the medley, the deadlift medley. His overhead press is bonkers. Nick Gagnon, I mean, his overhead press is just stupid.
Yeah. Did you see what I posted this morning?
No, what did you post?
I did 5 reps with the log overhead, like at 250. And I
Yeah.
dropped it because I failed the 6 rep. So I just dropped it. I just pointed at the camera and I just yelled, Gagnon!
Oh, I saw that. I actually did. Yeah.
He's so slow and just smooth, and then
Oh, yeah.
he does like a slow eccentric, and then sets it down gently. Like what?
It's ridiculous. And I even before I even did it, I was like, clean it like Nick cleans it. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh nope, that wasn't it.
I feel like when you see that, it makes you think like, how much more potential is there? Like if someone's like that controlled, you're like, but how much can you really do?
Yeah, it's fucking.
Well,
great.
on his 9-inch log, he's done like 355, I think. I'm glad that he's got a 12-inch log, though. I mean, 12-inch log makes all the difference, but I mean, still, like, he's basically stricting most of those freaking reps.
Lightweight people are.
It's gross. Hopefully, he recovers pretty quick, though, from his abdominal rupture or whatever, and kind of gets back to it. I mean, he's already freaking 265. I'm just doing some nice cluster
I'm
sets.
just gonna
Like,
keep it this weight for the rest of the year. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you mean
Overcomp. He's doing overcomp weight for 5 reps. My
Yep.
goal for the comp weight is 5 reps. I'm like, I just need to get 5, baby. Like that day, I need to hit 5. That's like what I'm really gonna do.
Yeah, I think that's doable. I think, yeah, people will be pushing close to 10. Somebody's gonna, I mean, we'll probably have like 5 or so, if there's 30 of us, 5 are going to at least be in double digits, guaranteed.
Okay,
Yeah.
we got Nick and Josh
Nick,
for sure.
Josh, if Carl shows up,
Carl's hurt. He's got a bad back or something, I think.
does he?
That's what I heard.
I haven't seen him post in a while. I'm thinking Ashcroft.
Oh, right. Definitely Astro.
And who would be a fifth contender with the press? I don't know. What has Hughes been up to? Did he go dark too?
Oh,
I think he went dark.
He's still around. He's a deadlift guy.
He is.
I think he's a.
His deadlift has gone up. So I don't know. I did 5 today at like 253, and that wasn't like all I had in the gas tank. So I think I could push like 8 or 9. But as I was like reviewing and like thinking about it afterwards, I was like, so do you struggle to keep it in the front rack the entire time, or do you take what you can get, set it down, clean it again?
Dump it. 100% dump it. Yeah.
You think?
You dump it,
for sure.
and then you pick it back
Like
up.
for me, I think it's going to be 3 intentionally dump, not even re-rack, straight to the ground, step back, another 1, and maybe even dump that one,
Yeah.
and then hope for 1 more.
See,
We'll see how the year goes, but
do you jerk it or do you push press it?
I'm going to be split jerking every rep.
Yeah. I was going back and forth this morning trying to practice on the split jerk too. And I was trying to time it. I'm like, all right, I think my split jerk, like getting to a lockout position from a split jerk, is about the same time that it takes me to kind of push jerk and drop it back down, or like bring it back down to the front rack. So I feel like you can move faster, but then I don't know. So
Well, it's all about energy. For me, it's all about the energy. Like if I could push jerk, I mean, that's way faster, right?
Yeah.
Push press is even faster than that. Well, maybe
The
not.
only problem with
Yeah,
push press is that you push press, you run into like more of an issue with like local muscular endurance. If you can push jerk, like I'm just shitty at push jerking, so I'm not gonna push jerk because I'm like not good at it.
Yeah.
Right? So like
really,
push jerk, but I would, if I could push jerk all those reps, like of course I would push jerk them,
Yeah.
and then I would just move to a split jerk when I start to get a little tired.
Yeah. Exactly.
that's what I kind of used to do. Now I've gotten really comfortable with push jerking.
Yeah.
And so I've almost eliminated split jerking, and I'm like, you need to bring that back in. So
I think if you're a proficient push jerker, then you should do that until you start to get tired and you have to get under it a little more, and then you get
yeah.
That's what I've done before when the weight's lighter. If like a 220 log, I'll do that. I'll like push jerk 3, dump it, split jerk 2, dump it, split jerk 1 more.
Yeah,
Like
I think I would if it was a little lighter too. I think I run into some stability issues because of my legs, my like janky legs with push jerks.
Janky legs.
Oh, I have janky legs. Yeah. No, I have like actually janky leg.
I don't know if you can see it. There's a big scar.
Is that what I would say? Is that a scar? I can see like the shiny.
Yeah, it's a giant
Did
scar.
you get surgery? Knee surgery?
I was in a motorcycle accident, and I like shattered my entire femur and my knee.
No way.
Yeah.
That's insane. How long did that take to heal?
Oh, it's really
Still healing?
It really depends on your definition of healing.
No way.
It happened 10 years ago, but I still have like my knee is like never gonna be.
Yeah.
So I run into like a lot of issues with things like because the power jerk puts a lot of like in that catch,
Oh,
you
it's a
just
lot
have
of
a lot of
pressure.
shearing force on
Yeah.
your knees. That's like different than catching a split jerk. I think that's why I struggle with them a lot. But
Yep. That makes sense.
yeah, so that's why I split jerk. But
Yeah. Dang.
if
That's
I
great.
could, I
So-
would definitely push jerk.
No.
Then
I know you guys got questions, so sorry I keep talking.
But-
What? Tommy, you're wearing the wrong ones. You wearing yours?
No, I mean, so the only question anybody really had, and you know, I'm sure it's fucking annoying, but it's about the Titan games. I mean, we can skip whatever you feel like you should say, and I can ask you some awesome questions like, so
Yeah, let's talk.
is it completely fucking fake? And did they, you know, like how fake is it? Did they tell you that you had to win or lose? Like, oh, come on.
No,
Did you sign
I
an
have to be
NDA?
I signed some. I did sign some papers, so I have to be very careful. My attorneys are
What we
listening at all.
what we could do, we could always talk about a show and what you think a show like the Titan Games might be like.
Right. So I mean, here's the thing with the Titan games. it was an amazing experience. And I battle with this, but I think I would absolutely do it again. And the number one reason that I would do it again is because of the community of people that was brought together. So they brought together, I mean, initially we had, so we did OSG, and then literally like 3 weeks after OSG, I get a phone call from, I don't even remember who the phone call was. I thought it was a joke. And they're like, yeah, like, you still interested in doing this Titan Games? I think I submitted an application the year that Anthony Furman was on. While he was still casting for it, I submitted an application. So I forgot. I was like, I don't know. Oh yeah, this is still happening? Cool, let's go. Long story short, they brought 40 of us out to a, they called it a Titan Combine, where it was like one day, it was in LA, one day we did like 12 events. And I'm going to brag my freaking tails off here. And so we did 12 events. It consisted of a 40-yard dash. It was a mile run, but they were like testing your VO2 max. They had a max deadlift, the dead hang for time, like on a pull-up bar, max pull-ups. They had 3 like different obstacle courses. And then they actually had a mock setup of one of the events itself that you had to like hang and swing on. And so a couple of those things. So basically it was like 12 events, and that was to kind of test you, but simultaneously it was more or less a character test too. So there were producers and people everywhere. And what they're really looking for, they don't, at the end of the day, they don't care if you can perform. Like, yeah, they want you to be able to complete the task, but they want to know about your personality, because you're going to be on TV, and they need America. They need an in audience to like you, because that's what's going to sell. And so I think that foremost, it is TV, and that's what they're looking to do, is they're looking to make money, bring in the revenue, right? So after that, I got a call back. They brought in 18, I'm gonna screw up the number. They brought in significantly less of us. I think it was like 18 of us, and then 18 men, 18 women. And then we had 2 replacements for each, like male and female. So there was a total of 40 of us that went to casting, or went to the actual show to film in Atlanta. And from there, it was just like, we lived in a hotel, all of us in a hotel, and we were outside of the city perimeter at this, apparently it's a spot that Hollywood does a lot of filming at. And so The Rock would fly in, he would do filming for one movie, and then he'd come over and he would do the show. But every day for us, it was like the same rigmarole. It was like, all right, makeup or wardrobe, makeup. Dude, they put makeup on my shins because my shins have scars. So they were putting makeup on my shin. Like it was insane. When it was your event day, they would walk you through, like in the morning, like, this is the event that you're going to be doing. This is the time that we expect you to go. And then you basically sit in a room all day, and we would just sit there and we just eat food and just stick around. So 40 really competitive athletes from all over. I mean, some who weren't even athletes. I remember there's one girl, she's a mountain climber, and she basically takes people on like guided hikes and whatnot through some crazy mountains. So she does like rock wall climbs, and then she actually does like excursions. So she's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And she's a hoot. She's a great girl. But she's like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but whatever. So she's like having fun with it. Like, she's not an athlete, but she's super competitive, and she's really, really strong. So it's a good mix of people, and we all clicked so well that we have a group chat almost daily. There are messages being sent through this group chat, because we just stay so connected, and we share all kinds of things with each other, whether it's like discount codes, information, because some people from the show are doctors, gynecologists. Some people have like different nutrition backgrounds, physical therapists, like the whole gambit. So we share all that with each other, and we've had a couple of different, we're calling them Titan reunions. So we've been getting together here and there and just hanging out. And so it created this really cohesive kind of group of friends, and it's been great. Regardless of the fact that we actually all had to compete against each other in the ring, in the Mount Olympus ring. And so the competition itself, It's interesting. So if you've watched the show, you've noticed that not all the athletes do every single event, right? There's some athletes do specific events. It was very, very eye-opening to understand how things are done from behind the camera and why things are done in certain orders. And I could go on, but I mean, there is so much that goes into making it what it is. And once you start, they're very smart because they know that we're competitive and we're athletes. So they're they're telling you to go out there and do your best. But once you start getting into the flow of things, you start to understand, you start to see the big picture, and everybody, all of the athletes here, we're all just like, something's up here. So we, we put things together, and sometimes, mechanisms were built by engineers who maybe, they might've missed a bolt here or missed a strap there. So things weren't always fair for all players on the field. Things would break down and they'd have to stop filming and things like that. But, you would just stop and you just push on. And at the end of the day, it was like 4 weeks, maybe close to filming that we were out there. The guy who I went against, he's a long driver, professional long driver. I mean, he's just stacked. He was like 280 pounds, and that was his sport of choice.
And that was the one where you were like both pushing poles in or some shit?
Yeah. I was against him. Me and him were paired up as opponents from the game.
It looked like toward the end, you guys were both just so fucking gassed, you could barely
Dude, I couldn't even hold on to that pole at the end. Like, I could not hold on to that pole at the end. Like, that was funny. But along the way, like, people, like, we were 100% effort given out there, no matter what what cards were dealt to us. And so, you're going out there, whether this pole is actually moving or not, I'm going to pull it. And you go out there and you do that, and people were getting hurt. A lot of people were tearing muscles. One guy, he had like to go get stitches in his shin, hurt knees, ankles, scrapes, and rug burns, like all kinds of craziness. The guy I went against, he tore his bicep and he broke his like big toe or something. I think he broke the big toe when we were hanging on a bar, kicking those big logs. I don't know if you saw, like, they're big cylinders, and we had to kick them, and it was so stupid because it was just stupid. Anyways, so it's like everybody's broken as fuck, and this is like going into end of week 3. There's no therapist on site. I was just like, yo, can we at least get an ice bath? Like, and eventually, like, at the very end, after people started getting sent home, they started to bring that stuff in. They're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm like, oh shit. It was a really cool experience. The Rock was nice. Everybody asked, how's The Rock? And I mean, he's nice. He's a good guy. He's got a camera on him 24/7. Even when we're not filming, there's like what do you call them? A posse. There's a posse of people around him, and they all got cameras on them. It's like a little much. I'm like, how do you live like that, man?
It sounds awful. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, he was cool. He'd always come by and he'd wish you luck before your event. He'd come, and after your event, he'd say, good job, pat you on the shoulder. He picked me up and like carried me to my wife at one point because I could not move. I'm just like dead after one event. I don't even know which one. And he like picked me up, shouldered me, and walked me over to my wife. I can't stand anyway. So it was amusing. But the producers there were great. The people are what made it all worthwhile, though.
Yes. Nice. So it was a good experience. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have to send over if you have any clips of that so we can add them in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I could just find it somewhere, but
there's a ton on YouTube too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Just YouTube my failures. And it's funny is because my dude broke his or tore his bicep, they actually had to bring me back in because he couldn't go on.
Nice.
That was but anyways, I will digress.
It's been a long time.
It's been an hour.
It has been a long time.
Dude, yeah. Well, it's just such a good conversation. I think this week we're not going to do a whole huge intro like we've done before. We'll just kind of like, this will be the whole thing.
We'll just put this up. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
all you, baby. It's all you.
All right. Well, I think So at this point, if you're cutting it thin, beef. But I think we need to schedule a time to for me to come up and do some bag videos.
Yeah. We want to do like what you want to do, like a bag tutorial video, just kind of like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I got a couple of people that can film. So we'll let's fucking do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we can do a video in your backyard.
We can do it in my house too.
Yeah, she's got a great spot to film.
Yeah.
My gym actually isn't. I'm trying to. If you throw the bag in the wrong way, it might hit sprinklers. So I've got to figure that out.
I have like a 20-foot like concrete wall in my backyard that we throw at. So
yeah.
Oh, perfect. Then. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So let's do it. I mean, dude, anytime.
Dude, I get so many people ask for videos, and I've Googled it or YouTubed it. Like, there is not a tutorial video out there.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun because I have ideas. I've tried to train people on it, and from my perspective, it's impossible. It's truly impossible. You can't explain it to someone. Well, especially you're probably just like me, where it comes very naturally to you. So if you try to explain something like that, you're like, I don't know, let me figure it out first because I haven't even thought about it. But then I don't know if I'm using the wrong words or what. So it'll be good for, and well, actually Rebecca is someone who's not naturally good at it and has worked really hard at it and has gotten good at it. So it'd be good for us all to be there.
Yeah. We'll put our brains together and we can figure out how to do that. And I think that'll be good. Hopefully maybe within the next month or so. I mean, you're like 2 hours from me. So
yeah, and I mean the next week well, actually I got some filming to do this week for something else, but yeah, definitely within the next month for sure. Next
all right.
Just let us know.
Oh yeah. That sounds good to me.
All right, everybody, watch out for that video. It's coming.
Well, thanks for coming on with us. It's been a great time.
Yeah, thanks for
I know you
having
guys
me.
know each other. It's been great to meet you, myself.
Likewise.
We'll fucking see you like in a week or something.
Yeah. All right. Later.
See ya.
Bye.
Good. Go. Go, Andrew.
Come on! Where you going? Right here! Right here! Come on! Come on! Let's go, man! Come on! 3, 2, 1, go!
Up. Nice and steady. There's no rush. Nice and steady. Easy goes. Yes.
Good start. That's it.